If you don't have these apps yet, what are you waiting for? Hi guys, Rachael Cook, Doctor of Audiology at Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you the 4 apps that you need if you have hearing loss. Coming up. As I'm sure you're aware, there's an app for just about anything these days. You can order whatever you want straight to your front door using Amazon, identify all sorts of birds from their songs using Merlin, or maybe even meet your next date over on Hinge. But apps aren't just for fulfilling orders or satisfying your curiosity. In fact, there are many apps designed specifically to improve your health and wellness in ways that we never even thought possible, even just 15 years ago. And the hearing loss space is no different. That's why today I'll be telling you the 4 apps that you absolutely need if you have hearing loss to make your life easier and more enjoyable. But before we do that, if you could please give this video a thumbs up, it really helps bring videos like these to a wider audience. And if you have not yet already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with notification bell so that you never miss any one of our newly released videos. Now, the first app that you absolutely need if you have hearing loss is a sound level meter app. Noise-induced hearing loss is already incredibly common and rising. Experts estimate that up to 25% of adults and nearly 12.5% of children already have some level of hearing loss from loud noise. Noise-induced hearing loss compromises your ability to hear high-pitched consonant sounds that are critical for the clarity of speech, especially in background noise. A sound level meter app uses the microphone on your cell phone to tell you the volume level of the surrounding noise. Using this information, you can determine whether that sound is safe to listen to for an extended period of time, or if you need to use hearing protection or potentially even remove yourself from that environment. According to the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, you can only safely listen to a 90 decibel sound for 8 hours before it becomes damaging. And with every 5 decibel increase, this time limit is cut in half, meaning a 115 decibel noise is only safe to be around for 15 minutes. And this is becoming increasingly important as many bars, restaurants, concert venues, sports games, and even movie theaters can easily expose you to dangerous levels of noise at and above 115 decibels. Depending on the volume of the sound and the amount of time that you spent around it, loud noises can damage your hearing, resulting in hearing loss, tinnitus, or both. But unfortunately, most people only notice the impact of loud noise exposure after the fact, with either muffled hearing or an increase in tinnitus. And by that point, damage has almost certainly already been done. For this reason, get ahead of the risk to your hearing by downloading one of the many available sound level meter apps. For iPhone and Android, both Decibel X and Decibel Pro are great options to see the level of the noise surrounding you. If you have an iPhone, the NIOSH Sound Level Meter app is a very user-friendly app, and if you have Android, the Sound Meter and Noise Detector app acts like a speedometer on your car to tell you when loud is just too loud. Don't get caught worrying about your hearing after the fact. Download a sound level meter app now so that you know when the volume level is just too much. Now, the second app that you need if you have a hearing loss is a transcription app. Depending on the type and level of your hearing loss, you might miss or misunderstand certain sounds or words. This is especially true in difficult listening situations, like during a doctor's appointment if they're wearing a mask, or across a long table during a meeting. Transcription apps write out the speech that you are hearing, allowing you to back up what you heard with written words. Some transcription apps are simply in the moment, moving in real time with what is being said, like NAL Scribe for iPhone and Live Transcription for Android. Others, such as otter.ai, are sophisticated enough to document the conversation, separate dialogue by speaker, and even give you access to highlight and search functions to look back on later. Just how useful you find this tool will very likely depend on the type and severity of your hearing loss. But I do think it's better to always be over-prepared rather than under-prepared for a challenging situation. For more information on these apps and their utility, be sure to check out my video on transcription apps that will be linked down in the description below. Now, the third app that you absolutely need if you have a hearing loss is the SoundPrint app. Have you ever been in a restaurant that was so noisy you couldn't wait to get out of there? I know I have, and I used to think to myself, Man, if I would have known that it was going to be this noisy, I would have picked somewhere else for us to go eat. Background noise can be really, really tricky when you have hearing loss. This is because the most common types of hearing loss, like age-related hearing loss and noise-induced hearing loss, impact high-pitched speech sounds that are critical for speech comprehension. And in a noisy environment, these high-pitched speech sounds are the only way to separate out speech from background noise. If you can't hear these sounds above the surrounding noise, it all just starts to kind of blend together. And this might make you want to get your dinner boxed up and head home where you actually stand a chance at hearing. Well, with the Soundprint app, you can get ahead of these frustrating situations. The Soundprint app uses sound measurements submitted by real customers and generates a score for that location. Using the map function, you can see where the restaurants around you fall when it comes to noise level. Green for easy conversation, yellow for moderate difficulty, and red meaning that conversation is going to be very, very difficult. Using this information, you can make the best decision about where to host your next birthday dinner or where to catch up over coffee with an old friend without having to struggle through the entire experience. For more information about the ins and outs of the Soundprint app, you can check out my detailed review of the app that'll be linked down in the description below for you. And the fourth and final app that you need if you have hearing loss is an Auditory Training app. Auditory Training strengthens the connection between your ears and your brain. Now, hearing aids can help return missing speech sounds to your brain, but hearing aids alone cannot help your brain make better sense of incoming information, especially if you put off hearing treatment for many years. Auditory Training has you practice some of the most challenging listening skills. This includes understanding speech in background noise, understanding rapid speech, and even speech reading. These skills don't just help you hear better, they help you to better process and understand what it is that you're hearing. Traditionally speaking, auditory training was administered by a hearing care professional or via a computer-based software program. But today, there's an app for that, and the newest and most impressive being the Auditory Training app from Lace AI. Now, Lace has already been a trusted auditory training program for over 20 years, but they just recently redesigned their entire platform to be AI-driven and app-based. And it is now adaptive to constantly challenge your skills and get you to your highest level of performance. If you have a hearing loss, then there is no reason that you shouldn't complete an auditory training program to maximize your comprehension. So for more information on auditory training, you can check out my video, and for a detailed review on the new Lace AI app, you can check out Dr. Cliff's video. As you can see, the world of smartphone apps is constantly expanding to make our lives easier and more efficient, and the hearing loss space is no different. If you have hearing loss, you should absolutely have a sound level meter app to know how loud is too loud and give you the option to put in hearing protection or get away from the sound before it damages your hearing. A live transcription app for tricky listening situations where you don't trust your ears alone or when you want to be able to reflect back on the conversation. The Soundprint app to review noise ratings of your favorite restaurants and cafes before you even go, and an auditory training app to strengthen your ability to understand speech in the trickiest of environments. Hearing loss can be challenging enough by itself, but have no fear, there's an app for that. And if you already use any of these apps, or if you're on your way to go download one of these apps, make sure you let me know down in the comment section below.